Konnichiwa, this is the Shogunstein, and this is a colorblind board game perspective of Age of Galaxy by Jeffrey CCH. This is from Ice Makes. This is a small box 4X space game for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, showing a 45-minute playing time. We were given a review copy from Amazon Vine, so just in the interest of full disclosure, we did get a copy for review purposes. So we're going to look at a game from a colorblind board game perspective. So one of the things you're going to see in this game is that there are cubes, and there is a blue cube, which is usually not a problem for colorblind players, and there are yellow cubes, which are also usually not an issue for colorblind players, but there are red and green cubes, which normally could be an issue. But the type of green and red they use, at least for my colorblindness, I didn't have any issue telling apart the red and the green. Normally that would be an issue, normally not something we like to see in games, but the actual colors that they used were significantly different. And I did some practicing where I mixed them together and was able to separate them all. Same thing with the spaceships. Again, you have a yellow spaceship, no problem. You have a blue spaceship, no problem. But there are a red and green spaceship. And again, while these colors were a little closer than the cubes, ultimately, based on my color blindness, I didn't have any issues separating them, and I mixed them up and was able to tell them apart. So even though they do have red and green, not colors that I would recommend board games use if not needed, but the shades they use were good. Certainly with the cubes, not as, a little closer on the spaceships, but when I was mixing them up, I had no problem separating them. Then also on your player board, you're going to be keeping track of production and credits, and you're going to see that you have little, little markers there. And the credit is the yellow, the production is that kind of, productivity is kind of that orange, and again, based on my color blindness, no issue telling those two apart. Now, there's a lot of factions and cards and ideologies in this game, and everything has clear icons. If anything, if you were going to have one criticism that has nothing to do with the colorblind friendliness of the game, there's a lot of icons in this game. You're going to be going to the rule book quite a bit until you get the game down with all the different icons. But when you use the different icons, one nice thing when you're colorblind is you don't have to rely on the color. You can use the icon. And again, the ideologies, the factions are very easy to tell apart. You have a color and a symbol that is very clear and easy to tell apart. So from a colorblind board game perspective, Age of Galaxy does a good job being colorblind friendly. Again, not a fan of using red and green, but the shades they used were, in my opinion, different enough that I had no problem separating them, telling them apart, which isn't always the case with red or green. But everything else, the use of the yellow, the blue, the yellow and orange for the productivity and the credits, all the symbols and icons on the cards and on the player boards made this game, in my opinion, very colorblind friendly. So we want to thank Amazon Vine for this review copy. Again, this is Age of Galaxy from Ice Makes Games, colorblind board game perspective. This is the Shogunstein out.